We're going to start in child's pose. So we'll bring our big toes together, knees apart wide, forehead down, and just stretch your arms out in front. And take a couple deep breaths here, settling into that first child's pose. And noticing how your body feels today. Every day is a little bit different when we step onto our mat, so just checking in here. And then connecting to your breath, finding your Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through the nose. Slightly constricting the back of your throat so you can start to really hear the sound of your breath. And work on making your inhales and exhales even longer. Walk your hands to the right side of the mat and place your left hand on top of the right. So you feel a little stretch there through the side of your body. And then you take it the other way. Walk your hands to the left side, right hand on top of the left. And bring it to center, tabletop position. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Inhale, drop the belly, arch your back and gaze up for cow pose. And then exhale, tuck your chin in, round your back for cat. Inhale as you arch, warming up the spine. Exhale as you round. And then one more time. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Good. Find a neutral spine. Gate pose. Step your left leg to the side and stand up. So you're on your right knee and your left foot. Left hand goes on that left thigh. Reach your right arm over your ear, creating a side body stretch on the right side. Good. Lift up and switch to legs. Left knee goes down as you step the right foot to the side. Right hand on the right leg and reach your left arm over your ear. Good. Back to your hands and knees, tabletop position. Thread the needle, peel the right arm up, thread it through. Put your head down. Walk your left hand straight forward. Maybe crawl it a little bit to the right. Start to notice how your shoulders and back and chest are feeling today. Good. Back up to your tabletop and switch sides. Peel the left arm up. Thread it through, putting the head down, walking the right hand forward, maybe crawling it a little to the left. Good, reset on your hands and knees, tabletop. Opposite arm and leg, right arm extends forward, left leg reaches back, using your core to balance. Exhale, knee to elbow, pull it in. Inhale to extend and reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale to extend. One more time, knee to elbow. And then extend it out and maybe hold, working the balance, or maybe reach that right hand back. See if you can grab your left foot and find a little back bend there. Good, stretch it back out and place it down. Switch sides, left arm forward, right leg back. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale to extend it out. Good. One more time, knee to elbow. Then extend it out and hold or reach around. Try to grab that foot on this side and kick it back. Extend it out, place it down, and then we'll come into our first downward facing dog. So plant your hands shoulder width, tuck your toes and lift your hips up. And then just pedal it out, bend one leg at a time so you can stretch your calves and hamstrings. Maybe bend one elbow at a time. Just kind of check in, right? Notice how your body feels in that first down dog. Shrugging the shoulders away from the ears. Working on pushing the weight towards the heels, even if they don't reach the floor yet. Inhale, glide forward to a high plank. Make sure shoulders, elbows, wrists are stacked. Feet are still hips width. You're in a nice straight line. And then without moving the hands and feet, exhale, lift your hips, down dog. Inhale, shift forward, high plank. Exhale, down dog. One more time. Inhale, forward, high plank. Exhale, down dog. Walk your feet to the front, ragdoll, feet hips width, bend your knees, and grab opposite opposite elbows, just letting yourself hang here, maybe shaking your head a little yes and no, relaxing the neck. You can also sway a little bit side to side or forward and back. Releasing your hands, roll yourself all the way up to stand. Good, lift your arms up. Your right hand grabs that left wrist and pull it to the right to create a little side body stretch from standing. And then switch sides. Left hand grabs your right wrist, pull it to the left. Good, back to center. Interlace the fingers behind your lower back. If they don't reach, try using a yoga strap. Open your chest, bend your knees, fold forward with the hands interlaced. Releasing your hands to the floor or the blocks. Cross your right foot behind your left. So your left leg is crossed in front and fold over the legs, hands on the floor or blocks, or walk your hands to the left side of the mat like a little circle. Back to center, switch the cross of the feet. So now your right leg is crossed in front. And again, you can fold over the legs. You can bend the knees here if you need to. If you want to walk it to the side, you walk it to the right side. Good, walk it to center, uncross the feet, bring them together. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step to your plank. And for our first chaturanga, bring your knees to the floor. Hug your elbows in and nice and slow, lower all the way down for our modified chaturanga. Now untuck your toes, you have the tops of the feet down. Inhale, cobra pose, just a small back bend coming part way up. Good, lowering back down. Now push up to your knees to that modified plank, then tuck your toes under and reset in your down dog. So as we start to move through some sun A's and sun B's here in a moment, just remember you always have that version. You can do it on the knees. If you also need to skip any of them, just go straight to down dog. Look forward, you can step, or if you like to hop, you can hop your feet to the front and meet your hands. Inhale, lengthen to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Now use that flat back. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to stand. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center prayer position. Surya Namaskara A, sun salutation A. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale to a flat back. And exhale, step back to plank. Now from the toes or from the knees, chaturanga, low push up. Hug those elbows in and lower halfway. Then you flip over your feet either to up dog or cobra as you inhale. If you're an up dog, it's a little deeper back bend. Exhale, down dog. Looking towards your hands, hopping or stepping to the front, feet together. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time, just like that. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step or hop back. Chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, meeting in down dog. Good, looking forward, stepping or hopping, both feet to the front. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Sun salutation B, Surya Namaskara B, just one time. Lift your arms up and bend your legs. Utkatasana, chair pose, knees and feet together. Exhale as you fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, choose your variation, hop or step back, chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. Lift your right leg up, step in between your hands, warrior one, Virabhadrasana A. Pivot your back heel flat on the ground, square your hip bones to the front, arms straight up to the ceiling. Your back leg is really straight and engaged, but you're bending into that front leg. Exhale as you lower your hands to the mat and step back to your chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. And then other side, lift the left leg up, step it forward. Set up your feet first, pivot that back heel down, and lift your arms up for warrior one, Virabhadrasana A. Square hips, back foot turned in about 45 degrees there. Exhale, lower the hands down to the floor, step back, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Looking forward, stepping or hopping both feet to the front, bringing them together. Inhale, flat back. Exhale as you fold. Bend your knees. Utkatasana, chair pose. Then stand all the way up, hands to heart center. Separate your feet hips width. Slowly roll yourself all the way down. And then take your peace sign fingers and hook onto your big toes for Padagustasana. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees as much as you need to so you can hold those toes. Elbows out to the side. Relax your neck. Get that nice stretch into the backs of the legs. Good. Release the toes. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back. Chaturanga, low push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale to down dog. Lift your right leg up, step it forward to a low lunge. Drop your left knee down for this one and untuck the back toes. Then start with the hands on that right thigh. Sinking into this left hip flexor. Maybe lift those arms up for a little back bend. You can press the palms together if you want, overhead. Lower your hands down. Half splits, straightening the right leg, flexing the right foot. Hands can be on the blocks as well. And then you fold over that right leg, getting that stretch into the hamstring and calf on the right side. Good, rebend it and just go straight to down dog this time. No chaturanga, just plant your hands, step back, take a moment to reset in your down dog. And then when you're ready, we'll go to the other side, lifting the left leg up, stepping that foot between your hands, dropping the back knee down for your low lunge. Starting with the hands on the thighs, you can just kind of sink into that right hip flexor. And then if you want to add a little back bend, you can lift the arms up and gaze up. You might press the palms together overhead. Good, lowering the hands down to your half split, straightening that left leg, flexing the foot and folding forward. Then rebend it, go straight back to your down dog. Look towards your hands. You can step or hop to Malasana prayer squat. Turn your toes out and bring your hands to heart center. And use those elbows, try to press those hips open, press the chest forward to lengthen your spine. You have lots of variations. You can stay here, you can sit on the block. If you want to open the arms, slide your right shoulder inside the right knee, right hand on the floor, left arm up. Or if you want to try to work on a bind, even though we haven't done a lot of shoulder opening yet, you can take that left arm behind your back and your right arm around the outside of the shin and maybe clasp the hands by the hip or maybe just a half bind. So lots of variations. Decide what works for you today. Good. If you did open the arms or do a bind, take it to the other side. Left hand down, right arm up, maybe a half bind with the top arm. Maybe that other arm comes all the way around the outside of that shin and you try to bind by your left hip. Nice. And then when you release, come back to center. Bakasana, crow pose. Plant your hands shoulder width and walk your feet in. If you haven't tried it with a block, you could try putting your feet on a block. Sometimes that helps. Lift your hips up, lift up to your tippy toes. Bend your arms a little and put those knees up high on the triceps, right on the back of the tricep. The higher you get them, the better. And then keep shifting forward until your toes, your big toes, are the very last thing to leave the floor. Push the floor away. Make that cat stretch in your upper back. Stick out your chin and look past the edge of the mat so you don't land on your face. And maybe try one foot at a time, right? Maybe just right foot, put it down. Maybe left foot, put it down. Maybe both feet, squeezing those feet up towards your hips. But the key is really that leaning forward. Getting those knees up close to those armpits and then shifting that body weight forward. Nice. When you're done, let's take a moment in a child's pose again. Reset there in your child's pose. Now, dolphin pose. So you come up to your forearms. I like to just always measure it out just to make sure you have everything in the right spot. So you grab onto the outside of the triceps. That just tells you where to keep your elbows. Keep your elbows there and then extend the forearms. So your forearms are parallel, your palms are flat. We're going to be doing this pose a lot today because it's going to help us when we get to our forearm stand later. So set up your forearms, make sure everything looks good. Push the floor away, right? Actively push the floor away. And I want your gaze, your eyes to be looking straight down at the floor, right between your wrists or your forearms, that general area, and then tuck your toes and lift your hips. Now, depending on how your hamstrings are feeling, maybe walk your feet a little closer to your elbows if you can, and then bring your feet together right in the middle of the mat. Lift up to the balls of the feet, so your heels are off the ground, and maybe lift the right leg up. If not, just keep the foot down, but still try to lift your heels off the ground. Hold it. 5, square your hips. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs if you have a leg up. Left leg up. Your right heel is off the ground or on the ball of the foot, putting more weight in your arms. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Child's pose. Knees all the way together. Forehead down, arms alongside you. Let your shoulders relax for a moment. Let them round forward. Now coming back up to your tabletop. Puppy pose, a good counter pose to dolphin pose. So hips stay over the knees as you start to walk your hands forward. Think of arching your back, melting your chin and chest to the floor. If your chin doesn't reach, put your forehead down instead. But think of melting that chest down. You should feel a deep stretch in the shoulders and the lats here. It's going to feel a little bit like a back bend. Walk your hands in, and now we'll come back to our down dog. So reset, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up and step your right foot forward. Warrior 1. So just like we did earlier in our warm-up, pivot that back heel down, square your hips, and lift the arms up. From here, interlace the fingers behind your lower back or use a strap. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, bow forward, humble warrior. You can bring your shoulder on that right thigh and hold it there, or come to the inside of it, bringing your head maybe a little closer to the ground. Carefully come back up to your warrior 1. Undo that bind and lift your arms up. Now open it to warrior 2. Walk your back foot out a little wider. Line up right heel to left arch. Hips open and longer stance for that warrior 2. Flip your right palm up. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle, right elbow to the thigh. Keep your elbow on the thigh. Half bind, left arm behind your back. You can rest on the lower back or you can try to reach it all the way through to this inner thigh. So as deep as you can get it around your back towards this right inner thigh. And then push away from that right thigh, right? So your shoulder is away from your ear. If it's okay on your neck, look up towards the ceiling over that left shoulder. Just the half bind right now. Good. Now undo your half bind, come back up, regular warrior 2. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, windmill the hands to the mat and step back. Chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Now lift the left leg up, other side. Step it forward, set up your feet for warrior 1, Virabhadrasana A, squaring the hips. Now, if you remember, try to interlace with the other thumb on top. If you're not sure, try both ways. Usually, whichever way feels a little awkward is the way we want to do it. Open up your chest and bow forward. Humble warrior. Torso on the thigh or just right to the inside of it, so that if you are working your head closer to the floor, it should be right next to your foot. Unlace the fingers and come back up, warrior 1. And then feel the difference. Open the hips, pivot out wider, warrior 2. Line up left heel to right arch, arms out like a T. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, modified side angle, left elbow to the thigh. And then add the half bind, right arm behind your back, lower back, maybe hip. Maybe you even use this other hand to help wiggle it through and get as close to that inner thigh as you can. Rolling that right shoulder open, only gazing up if that's okay on the neck. Good. Undo that bind. Come back up to your regular warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, windmill your hands down. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Drop your knees down. Tabletop. So we're going to do a side plank, but on the forearm, right? So just like your dolphin, put your right forearm down, and then you can either keep your right knee down, or you can stack your feet and lift your left arm up. Or you could also cross your feet. Sometimes that's a little easier to balance if you cross the left foot in front of the right. But you can also have the knee down. Lift the hips. If you want an extra challenge, lift your left leg up in the air like a foot and hold it. 5. Nice, Shelby. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. Good job, you guys. Left forearm down. Take the same variation. Knee down, stack the feet, cross the feet, or maybe try to float your right foot up just about a foot in the air and hold. Hips up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Child's pose. Reset any variation of child's pose. All right, now let's make our way back to down dog again. Lift the right leg up, step it forward to crescent lunge. We haven't done that one yet today. You're on the ball of the back foot. Hips are square, arms are up. So crescent lunge, usually a little bit longer stance than that warrior one because your back heel is off the ground. Now we open to warrior two, Virabhadrasana B. Inhale, reverse. And then exhale back to side angle. So we were just here. You can repeat the half bind, or now you can go for that full bind, taking your right arm through the inside of the leg, looking for that left hand there. Once you get a hold of it right by your hip, pulling those hands towards the hip or underneath that hamstring so you can look up over that left shoulder. So you want to make sure your hands are around your right leg, not your left, not in between the two legs, right? Around the front thigh. Good. Try to rotate open a little more. Undo your bind, come back up, straighten your front leg for triangle. Walk your left foot in just an inch or two, shift your hips back, reach forward, Trikonasana. Regular triangle pose, right hand on the shin or maybe the foot or a block, left arm straight up to the ceiling, creating length in both sides of the waist. Good, lift back up to stand and then come back to warrior two by walking that back foot out and rebending your front leg. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, windmill the hands down, step back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Lift the left leg up for the other side, step it forward. Crescent lunge position, Anjaneyasana, high lunge. Open to warrior two, pivoting that back heel down, Virabhadrasana B. Inhale, reverse. Exhale to side angle, half bind, right arm behind the back, or maybe that full bind. One side might be different though. Left arm reaches through, tries to grab that right hand by your hip or your hamstring. And then you're trying to pull those hands a little more under the leg so that you can roll that right shoulder back more and open up your chest more towards the ceiling or the side wall. Good, release your bind as you come back up, warrior two. Then we'll straighten out that front leg for triangle. Walk your right foot in an inch or two, shift the hips back, reach really far forward, and place your hand wherever it lands on the leg or on the block. Try to be nice and flat here on both sides of your body. Use your core to come back up. Readjust your feet and come back to warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, windmill your hands down, step back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Lizard pose, lift the right leg up and step it outside your right hand. Drop your back knee down, untuck the toes, hands or elbows or blocks come down on the inside of that right foot. So you can get a nice stretch here into your hips. Press up to your hands and go back to your down dog. Just step back, reset. And then we'll switch sides, lifting the left leg up, stepping it outside that left hand for your lizard pose, dropping the right knee down. Hands, elbows, or blocks coming down on this side, stretching into your left hip. Press up to your hands and then go back to your down dog. And look forward, step to the front, roll yourself all the way up to stand. We'll face the long edge of your mat, whichever side you want to face. Separate your feet a couple feet apart. Interlace those fingers again behind your lower back or use your strap. Open up your chest and shoulders and then fold forward. Prasarita, Padagustasana, straddle forward fold with the hands interlaced. Then release the clasp of the hands. Walk your hands through the legs. Try to fold a little deeper. Now walking forward, you can choose to come to your knees for frog or to walk your feet apart for straddle splits. I think it was last week we did both, or one of the classes recently we did both. So you choose. If you want to come onto your knees and wiggle your knees apart and flex the feet and come to your elbows, you can do that. Or you can stay on your feet. Both versions will stretch the inner thighs. So whichever one works best for you. If you're on your feet, you're just wiggling those feet as far apart as you can go. And again, if you can get your elbows to the floor, great. If not, use your blocks or just stay up on the hands. And just try to keep wiggling. Like if you're in frog, over time as the hips get more open, those knees will go wider. If you're in straddle, over time, you're trying to get those feet wider. So just breathe, stretching into those inner thighs. Good. Press up to your hands. If you're on your knees, tuck your toes, come back up to your feet. If you're in straddle, toe heel your feet back in to about where we started. And then just kind of shake it out. Bend one knee at a time, move side to side. Find a flat back. Bend both knees, hands to hips, slowly come up. So now if you have a wall or a door, I'm going to use my door. We're going to take our mats over there. If you do not have a wall or a door, you can still do dolphin pose in the middle of the room. I'm going to move the camera closer as well so you guys can see. If you have a yoga strap, get out your strap too. So have a seat with your back all the way up against the door or the wall and see how my legs are extended straight and my feet are flexed. I'm going to lay the strap down just right under my heels. Now, if you don't have a strap, just put your finger there so that you know how long your legs are, because that's the exact distance. We're going to put our elbows on the strap, not our hands or our forearms. And it's going to feel a little difficult. I mean, I know we've done it before, but it's difficult because we're in that L shape when we go upside down. Don't move your arms out, even though you might be tempted to do so. So once you've got it set up, bring your elbows down. Remember, you can always measure it out by grabbing onto those triceps. So set up your forearms. So your forearms are parallel, your palms are flat. No fists, no interlacing, palms flat on the floor. Then you tuck your toes. You're in a dolphin pose and we walk our feet up the wall to make an L. Actually can't see, I'll have to move the camera back, but you want your hips right over your shoulders.
You said our elbows are on the strap where it was, or is that where our hands are?
No, elbows on the strap, yeah. Elbows on the strap. And then see how my legs are straight, my hips are right over my shoulder. I'm trying to make the L. I don't want my legs up too high. And I want to keep my abs in and keep pushing the floor away. My heels should be flat. If you feel like your heels are lifting off the wall, your legs are too high. And that's a very common mistake. So let me see, try it again. If you're really comfortable there, because I know some of you have done this before, lift one leg up in the air and then count to 5 and put it back on the wall and then lift the other leg up in the air. If you're in the middle of the room, if you don't have a wall, hold your dolphin just like we did earlier, and same thing, lift one leg up and count to 5 in your head, and then lift the other leg up and count to 5, right? So whether you're on the wall or you're in the middle of the room, you're either holding dolphin or lifting a leg. And it's gonna be hard. If it feels a lot of work in your shoulders, you're doing it right? You have to actively push the floor away so your head doesn't hit the floor here. Now come down, shake it out, right? Let your arms relax. If you want to keep practicing that, right? The L shape, that's what's called L shape forearm stand, is a great way to train those muscles. But if you want to turn around and try it and jump up to the wall, you can. Just remember, it's not a headstand, so your head should never touch the ground. The setup is exactly the same. The closer you are to the wall, the easier this is because the less distance your legs have to jump. So once you get good at it, you start to back yourself away and a little further away each time so that you're further and further away until one day you no longer need the wall. But at first, you can start really close to the wall, gazing down, pushing the floor away, walk your feet in as close as you can. Lift one leg up like standing splits, keep it nice and high. The leg that's on the floor is the only one you're pushing off of. So you bend that knee and you push off of that leg, and this other foot hits the wall first, and then the second leg follows. But I'm gazing down right in between my wrists or my forearms. And then if you get both feet to the wall, then you can practice just taking the legs away from the wall and trying to balance there in your forearm stand, your Pincha Mayurasana. So
just to double check, we're looking down by our palms.
Yes, yeah. So if my hands are like this, I want to keep my eyes basically like right between my wrists or even my thumbs, like that general area. I do not want to drop my head and look at my feet because then you'll accidentally land on your head. And it's also harder to balance. It's actually easier to balance if you gaze straight down between your wrists or your hands. Yeah. So again, if I back up a little bit, if I want to, right? I still walk my feet in. I'm looking straight down and lift my favorite leg. Bend the foot that's on the floor there and give myself a little hop. Maybe touching the wall, maybe not using the wall, right? As you get better at it. Active feet, legs, straight legs, abs in. It's gonna take a while to get a feel for that balance point, but the wall will always be there, right? You do it a lot at the wall. It took me a long time of practicing it over and over and over again at the wall before I could slowly start to move further away until one day I could do it in the middle of the room. Questions? Let me see what you guys are up to. If you're in the middle of the room and you want to hop, you're more than welcome to. Just be aware of your space. It's a little bit hard at home because we have furniture and lights and all sorts of stuff that you might accidentally fall and land on. It's okay to fall, right? Falling is part of learning. I just don't want you to hurt yourselves because you don't have much space at home. If you're ever outside at a park and it's grassy, that's a good place to practice it too, right? Because that way if you fall, it doesn't hurt because it's soft. Give it 1 or 2 more attempts, and then when you've had enough, we'll meet in child's pose. Good. Nice, Shelby. Good. If you find your elbows start to slide apart, just reset, right? For some of you, that might happen where the elbows kind of start to go like this, come back down and bring them back in. And some of that is just shoulder tightness. That's why we did some shoulder opening first. If the elbows are sliding out, just because the shoulders get tight. All right.
If my elbows are staying in the same spot, but my hands move in, that's just the shoulders are tight?
Yeah, it's very common. Sometimes I'll teach it at first to stack the hands. That helps people who are really tight. Or if you have a block, you can put your hands like this, like an L on the block, and then you'll see like it's forces. My hands won't slide together, right? Because the block is stopping them. So I like that one too. If you find your hands or elbows are sliding, to put your hands right around that block, and that should keep them about the right distance. Any other questions about forearm stand? Again, it's a fairly advanced pose. It takes a lot of practice, might be one of those poses that takes years to master, right? But it's like everything. Each time you practice it, it gets a little bit better.
Is there supposed to be like a little arch between your back and your hands?
A little bit, because your body naturally has an arch, right? Your spine naturally has a little arch, but you don't want to be dumping into the lower back and letting your ribs hang out and your abs hang out. So you want to keep all that cinched in, but you can see like your body has a natural arch. You don't want to over tuck it and like round it. You just want to be in a neutral position. So the core is engaged, but you have a natural curve to your spine, not dumping into your lower back like that. Good. When you're done, we'll come into child's pose. If you want to move away from the wall, you can, depending on your space, up to you. But we'll come into that same child's pose where we have the knees together and the arms alongside you. So you can really let your shoulders relax. And from here, we're going to do a pose called rabbit's pose, a variation of rabbit's pose. So stay in child's pose, but interlace the fingers behind your lower back. Now from there, shift the weight to the top of the head, lift your hips up, and then try to stretch your hands away from your lower back, almost like you're trying to stretch them over your head. And you'll feel that stretch in your shoulders and your chest. If you're not sure, just take a look at the camera so you can see me. Good. When you're done, release, and then we'll meet in our downward facing dog next. Back to down dog. Step to the front of the mat, roll up to stand. Eagle pose, Garudasana. I'm just going to back up a little so you can see. Bend your legs a little like chair. Cross your right leg on top. Now you can do a single wrap, or some people can get that foot all the way behind the calf for the double wrap. If you're having a hard time balancing, put your right toes on the floor like a little kickstand. Arms out to a T. Do the legs first. Once you've got your legs, right arm crosses on bottom. You can hug your shoulder blades or try to get the backs of the hands together, or maybe the palms together. I don't know if you guys can see, but you're getting that double wrap if you can. Focusing the eyes. Push your elbows and forearms away from your face so you feel your shoulder blades pull apart. You want to feel like a stretch right between the middle of the shoulder blades. Good. Release. Shake it out. Other side. Bend your knees. Left leg crosses on top. Maybe putting the toe on the floor. Maybe a single or double wrap. Get your balance here first. Then arms out to a T. And left arm goes on bottom. Hugging the shoulder blades, backs of the hands, or double wrap with the palms touching. And then push your elbows and your forearms away from your face to spread those shoulder blades apart. So you feel a stretch in your upper back. Good. Release, shake it out. If you're not at the top of the mat, meet at the top of the mat with the feet together, the hands to prayer position. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Last chaturanga of the class. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back, chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. And setting up for our half pigeon or one leg pigeon, lift the right leg up and bring that knee forward. Right knee behind the right wrist, straighten out that left leg and square the hips. If pigeon pose bothers your knee, you always have that option to lay down on your back and do a lying down number 4. Now you can keep this foot close to you, or if your hips are all the way on the floor and square, you might move your shin maybe just an inch or 2 forward. If you do move your shin all the way forward, make sure it doesn't go past shin parallel with the front edge of the mat, creating this 90-degree angle here and flexing that foot. But if it bothers your knee, don't move the shin forward. Keep your foot tucked in closer to you. And then once you've got your legs all set up, then you can fold forward. And if your forehead doesn't reach the floor, you can use blocks. You can also put a block under your hip if your hip doesn't reach the floor, so that you can find a place where you can relax and get a nice hip stretch, but not have to strain to hold yourself up. Walk your hands in. And then we'll lift that right leg back up to a three-legged dog. Open the hip and the leg. Maybe shake it out, move it around. And then we'll reset in down dog. If you're on your back with that number 4 stretch, make sure you switch sides. If you're doing pigeon, lift the left leg up and bring that knee forward. Straighten your right leg out and square your hips. Left knee in line with your hip. Maybe keep that foot close to you. Maybe move it an inch forward. Maybe shin parallel to the front. Flexing the foot if you do start to move it further away from you, because that will just help protect your knee, because you should never feel this stretch in your knee. You should feel it in that left outer hip. Square your hips and then fold forward and grab any props if you need them. Drop your head, relax your neck, and breathe into your hips. Walk your hands in. Last downward facing dog. Lift that left leg up, shake it out. Again, maybe move it around. And then just kind of check in with your last down dog. Check in with the backs of the legs. See if you can push those heels closer to the floor. And then we'll have a seat. Paschimottanasana. Extend both legs out straight. Flex the feet, sit up tall, and then fold forward. Seated forward fold. You can use a strap. You can grab your legs, your feet, your wrist, whatever you can reach there, keeping those feet flexed as you fold. Slowly come up, roll all the way down onto your back, hug your knees in, give a little rock side to side. And we'll set up for our spinal twist, hugging the right knee in, extend that left leg long. Squeeze the right knee to the right shoulder. And then open your right arm out like a T and use your left hand to twist that right knee across your body towards the floor. Maybe you turn your head, look to the right. Bring it to center, hug both knees in, neutralize the spine in between sides. And then we'll switch. Keep that left knee in, straighten that right leg out, and hug the left knee to the left shoulder. Open your left arm like a T. Use your right hand, twist that leg across for your spinal twist on this side. And bring everything back to center and give both knees a squeeze again. Wrap your arms around your shins, curl up into a tight little ball, and then let it go. Coming into Shavasana, our final relaxation. Extending the legs long, letting the feet fall open. Arms relax alongside you, palms facing up. Try to shrug your shoulders away from your ears to keep the neck long. And as you close your eyes, clear away your thoughts. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale all the air out the mouth, letting it go and letting your muscles relax even deeper into the floor. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring some small movements back to your body. Maybe draw a couple circles with the wrists and ankles, moving them in both directions. Maybe gently move your head a little side to side. Anything that feels good to you. And then when you feel ready, we'll reach the arms overhead and reach the legs long and create a nice full body stretch, getting as tall as you can. Hug your knees into your chest. Roll over to one side, coming into a fetal position. With the eyes closed, use the hands to press you up into a comfortable seated position, crossing the legs, sitting up tall, and bringing your hands together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Take a couple last deep breaths here, scanning the body, noticing how it feels after your yoga practice today. And take one more nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale all the air out the mouth, letting it go. Lift your hands to your forehead, your third eye center, and bow forward. Namaste.